Hey, it's me again. Well, I made my first video this morning. I made a second one, but I deleted it because I gave some false information and I can't edit, so I just deleted the video. So, rewinding a little bit to where I was at earlier this afternoon. I left the Dollar Tree after I got my supplies that I needed, and I went over to Kroger's Wines and Spirits across the street wise, and I wanted to see price differences on certain things, and they had something that other places didn't have I go to, and they did, and I got me basically this. Now this right here was like $8 with tax and everything, was like eight and a quarter, $8.50 around there, something like that. But this is gonna be my next vanilla blend. I'm gonna get some beans here soon and throw some beans in this bad boy. I'll let it sit from now until probably September, October of this coming year, and it'll be timelined. It'll be technically ready to be used, technically. But this is going to sit until probably later, actually, let's just say April of 2022. How long is this going to sit for? Because I'm going to make sure this sits and sits and sits and gets all the magic from the beans, flavor, everything you think of. This is what's going to take place. Because I have a lot of friends of mine that have been asking for a bourbon flavored vanilla. I've made it once before in a very small form, and so many people had it, so many people loved it, they want more of it. Scotch, it's very close to bourbon. You know, it's slight differences, but this right here is very close to bourbon. Very, very close to bourbon. So, but this is going to be my new puppy for at least over a year. So, with that being said, this won't see anybody's fingers but mine for at least a year plus. So, on that note, it'll be good for me. Now, you know, there's so many things I got going on right now. You know, like I said, I'm getting that one there. I got, let's see, one jug partially, 3 jugs completely empty, one other jug about a quarter of the way full. The one that's quarter of the way full doesn't have anything in it yet. What I'm going to do with that one is, whenever I do get some more bananas, I'm going to slice them like I did before, throw them in the dehydrator. I'm going to dry them out to where they're like hardtack. And then from that point, when they're hard as a rock, I'm going to stick them inside there. And then I'm going to get some extra bean and stick it in there with bananas as well. So that way I have bananas along with my vanilla bean, which that will not be ready until, like I said, sometime between September, October, and which would be great because that's when a lot of people do a lot of excess baking, like banana bread, stuff like that. So with that concoction I'm going to be working on, it'll be great for banana bread because you will get the banana extract along with the vanilla 2-in-1. So when you make your banana bread, you get the double whammy of flavor versus just putting vanilla and just mashing some bananas up, doing it that way. Which, you know, you can still do it that way, but you know, you're going to get more of a banana and more vanilla flavor combined together to make the, as I call it, the sham wow of banana bread. So, and just things I've been working on. So, this is going to be a mildly short video. I'm not looking for time. I'm trying to get it as least time as possible. So, there's not very much more I need to talk about other than I got some jars that were actually it's apple juice, and these are the small jars that come with the apple juice. I take the lids off. This one here, this one's already been washed, peeled, the label's been peeled off, scrubbed down real good, washed real good. I take the caps of the bottles and I soak them in hot bleach water, which kills a lot of the bacteria that from the apple juice and everything else. And that way I can safely use the lid and, you know, and the jar too. But these jars, most people take these jars when they're done drinking them and just toss them in the trash. Well, this is a 10-ounce jar. You know, I can put 10 ounces of extract in this, put the cap that came with it on it, put my own label on it. Of course, you know, I'm just repurposing a jar that's not going to the landfill. Yeah, this jar will cost a little bit more money, but it's not going to the landfill. These are, you know, things like this is what I do all the time. And the wife gets aggravated because, you know, if I can find a purpose for something other than just throwing it into the trash can, and, you know, it goes off the landfill and it'll sit there for hundreds of 1,000 years sitting there when somebody else could have used it or used it for something, and or repurposed it, and it doesn't sit in, you know, in the ground. So many people waste stuff anymore. It's crazy. I try to recycle everything, and because I used to tease people, call them tree huggers and everything else growing up. Some of my friends call me a tree hugger, which I don't care, because I walk across the parking lot and people, well, they'll throw their cans on the ground. Of course, they get flattened because they get run over and everything else. But if I go to Walmart and say there's a couple of Coke cans or a beer can or something like that that's been flattened in the parking lot, I pick them up and throw them in the back seat of the car. And the wife's like all the time, "What are you picking trash up for?" I'm like, "Well, I'm picking up this crap up. It'll turn into a few cents to a few dollars." And but yeah, that's what I do all the time. I try to repurpose anything and everything. Like this jar behind me, it was a pickle jar, but now you can't see it too good probably, but it's probably about up to about where my finger is, by the white label. That's full of macaroni noodles, and you know, I bought a huge ass bag of them from Sam's, and I filled that container, that 1 gallon jug there, and I filled another 1 gallon jug. I've been using those noodles now for 3 years, and of course I got oxygen absorbers inside there, stuff like that, to keep it, you know, as fresh as possible. But you know, I do everything I can to, you know, stretch my pennies and everything else. And if I can find a reuse, repurpose, then that's what I do with it. Like you can't see it, but that thing I'm tapping my finger on, my big ass pickle jar full of vinegar and hot peppers, and that's what I used to make my hot sauce with. So, you know, and I could go out and buy these new fangle-dangle fermentation jars and everything else and spend 50 to 60 bucks on a jar, which that pickle jar works just as good, as, if not better. And, you know, I don't have the high-tech, you know, form of it, but, you know, I got a jar that works for me. It does what I need it to do. There you go. But this isn't so much about, you know, about me and repurposing things. It's just, I'm trying to make your mind stretch just a little bit, you know. Don't hoard things. Don't be a hoarder by any means, but just find a way to repurpose things. I wish a lot of states would follow one of California's rules, which is recycling. Because now, people like me that do recycle in my area, it would hurt them in a way, because we go out and we gather up other people's crap that they decide they don't want and just throw it into the curb for the garbage man to come by and pick up, and we pick a lot of that stuff up and we make pretty good money off of it. But I also wish that, you know, more people would push recycling than, you know, just, you know, other than, you know, hey, it's the guy down the street, you know, that dropped out of high school, or he's an ex-con, or he's some country bumpkin hillbilly that goes around picking up trash to make a few pennies off of. You know, a lot of people look at people like me like that, but I look at it as, you know, you have something that you could turn a profit on, but instead your negligence tells you to throw it in the trash because it's no good no more. And what do you want, kitty? What you want, kitty? What? But anyway, yeah, I try to find ways to repurpose, reuse, recycle. I get a lot of stuff for free. I'm grateful for it. I do my best to use it to the best of my ability. And if I can't use it and I know somebody else that can, I give it to them. And so it's like the circle of giving that keeps on going. Now there's some things I do recycle that I get for free, because if I can't find a person that can use it and it sits there long enough, then, you know, I recycle it. I wish to God that my county would put up the recycling, excuse me, the recycling dumpsters back up again down the other side of town, because since all this stupid so-called COVID-19 crap came about, they pulled the recycling trailers for paper, they pulled them for the glass, they pulled it for the plastic and all that stuff. So now, unfortunately, a lot of stuff that I normally would take down there to stick in the dumpster, the dumpsters aren't there, and the city government's like, well, we don't know when we're going to put them back up there again. So unfortunately, a lot of stuff that I do take down there to get recycled is now going to the landfill, because they refuse to put up the recycling dumpsters and the recycling trailers. So it is what it is. But, you know, I guess they're afraid that somebody's going to go down there and catch COVID-19 for throwing their trash into a dumpster to get it recycled, which, you know, I think is about retarded as hell, but, you know, I don't make the rules, I just have to follow them. But y'all have a great day, great night, great evening, how do you want to call it. I'm done talking, and I'll make another one here shortly. In a few days, maybe a day or two, 3, 4, I don't know. I don't like making a bunch of videos and just like rambling talking, because you kind of lose the aspect of what the purpose of it is. So I take gaps. But y'all have a great night, and I will see you all again soon, hopefully, as long as my feet hit the floor.